What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today is October 5th, 2022, which means it's the final day of the MLB regular season. And I'm going to try to recreate my playoff predictions in this video here on this game and with the show 22. Now, one thing to note is that this game came out before the lockout ended in April, so the playoff format isn't exactly right. There's 12 teams in the real playoffs. There's 10 teams in this simulation here. I picked the Rays over the Guardians. I picked the Cardinals over the Phillies. I think those two teams, they match up better against their opponent. I think those are the teams that are going to move on. But in these two wildcard formats, I will get to those in a second. And then we're going to move out to the rest of the playoffs. I'll let you guys know who I think is going to win each individual series and the reasoning behind that. So if you're new here, please hit the like and subscribe button. And let me know in the comments section who you think is going to be the World Series champion this year. And how they're going to do it, how many games. Let me know who your format prediction is. It'd be cool to monitor throughout the postseason. So I can't wait to watch postseason baseball. Should be a fun time. So let's get into this video now. So in the other best of three wildcard rounds, I'm going to go with the Mets and the Blue Jays. And the reasoning behind that is both of them are at home, first of all, so they have the advantage there. I think the Blue Jays are more well-rounded than the Mariners, just in terms of the pitching and the bullpen. And the offense is pretty solid also. Mariners might have a chance here, but being on the road, a young team, it could be tough for them. I'm going to go with the Mets on the other side here because of their pitching staff. Having to face DeGrom and Scherzer in the 3-game series, that is just rough for anybody. So I'm going to go with the Mets to move on to face the Dodgers. Those are my picks for the first round. We're going to get into the ALDS and the NLDS. And for here, I can actually give game predictions. The wild card is a best of 3. Here is only a one-game playoff, just like last year. So we're going to go with the ALDS and the NLDS. We'll start with the Rays and the Yankees. So this series will start out in New York, and I think the Yankees have a clear advantage on the pitching rotation and on the offense. The Rays play pretty good defense, but so do the Yankees, and the Rays are just known for playing tough, tight games. So I think it's going to be a close series, but the Yankees have the advantage. I'm going to go with 3-2 Yankees in this series because they have the offensive firepower, they have enough pitching to get it done. Luis Severino looks like a really solid starter right now, and he could be a very powerful weapon for them going into the playoffs, along with Garrett Cole and some other guys. Nestor Cortez could be a good matchup, but the Rays like the platoon guys, so that could help them in a couple games. But in the end, I'm going to go with the Yankees, 3-2, winning Game 5 at home, moving on to the next round. Next up, we have the Astros and the Blue Jays. The Astros won 105 games this season. They have a great pitching staff with Verlander. He's one of his best seasons of all time. They have a good bullpen. They have a good offense, so they're a very well-rounded team. The Blue Jays have some good pitchers. They can maybe match them the first couple of games. And then when they come back to Toronto, they can maybe have an advantage there because of the crowd. And their offense is also pretty good, so you got to watch out for that. They have a well-run lineup, good hitters, and they're not really weak anywhere. And that can help them get through the games that they need to get through. But I'm going to take this game to 5 games as well. I think the Astros are going to win in Game 5 just because I think people could overlook the Blue Jays team. They've been playing really well. They're over 90 wins now. And I think they could give some teams a run for their money if they play well enough and get hot at the right time. Now let's start with the NLDS here. Cardinals and Braves. The Braves shocked the world when they swept the Mets to basically win their division. They won against Miami to officially clinch it, but they're playing against the Cardinals, and I'm not sure how this team can match up against them. The Cardinals are really good against lefties with Goldschmidt and Arenado and everything, but the Braves don't really have many lefties. They have Kyle Wright. They got Spencer Strider. Those are their top 2 guys. Strider should be coming back for the NLDS, so that's big for them. I think the Braves have basically every advantage you can ask for here. The Cardinals are a good team, but the Braves have a great bullpen. They have a great offense. They have a great young core. I think that will propel them into the NLCS. I'm going to take them in 4 games. I just think that the Cardinals, they had a good run this year. They had some great moments with Pujols and Molina and everything, but I think the Braves are just a better team. I think they're going to come out swinging. And I think they're going to be very good on the pitching side of things, and they're going to win this thing pretty easily. So I'm going to take them in 4 games to go into the NLCS. And for our final Division Series match, we had the Mets and the Dodgers. And if you would have asked me 2 months ago who I thought would win this series, I would have picked the Dodgers pretty easily. But this time, I'm not really too sure. The Dodgers pitching staff is kind of in a mess right now. They have Kershaw, who's there, and Reyes. But they've been kind of off and on this season. And the rest of them, like Tony Gonsolin, he's not stretched out enough right now. They have Tyler Anderson, but if you want to face, if you're pitching 3 lefties against the Mets, that might not go well for you because they hit lefties pretty well, especially with guys like Pete Alonso. They have some switch hitters they can throw in there. The bullpens, Dodgers bullpen's good, and their offense is very, very good. They won 110 games. They're pretty elite, but I just don't. They've been struggling recently. They have to wait until the 11th to play again. I'm just not really sure if they can beat this Mets team, especially if they face DeGrom and Scherzer. And it's a 5-game series. It's not going to give us 7 games to wait this thing out here and face their worst pitchers. I think that the Mets might actually win this series, and I think they're going to do it in 5 games. It's going to be close. They play in both stadiums. If the Dodgers can come out early, they might win the series. I think they probably could win the series if they play. The first 2 games are essential. If they can somehow win a game against DeGrom or Scherzer or both, that will propel them over the Mets. But I think as a whole, on paper, the Mets are going to win this series, and they're going to be facing the Braves, and that could be a crazy NLCS matchup. Now we can get to our championship series predictions, and if these 2 matchups happen, it could be a pretty fun playoffs. Now we have the Yankees and the Astros. This series has happened before. It'll probably happen again. The Astros, to me, seem like the best team in the American League. They have everything you want in a team. They have the great starting pitching. They have the great bullpen. They have the great offense. They have the home field advantage. The Yankees, they have guys like Judge and Stanton. They have the power that you want in a team. They have the bullpen. They have the pitching as well. But I think that the Astros are just more well-rounded. But I think the series will also go pretty deep. I'm going to take the Astros in 6 games because of the home field advantage. But the Yankees also get 3 in their stadium. I think the Astros, though, when they face guys like, when they throw guys like Verlander and they have Valdez and they have McCullers, I think that it'll just be too much for the Yankees to handle. So I'm going to take the Astros in 6 games to go back to the World Series, and they made the championship series like 6 years in a row now or something crazy. So the Astros are a team that's been there before. They know what they need to do, and I think they'll take advantage of what's in front of them. And now for the National League, the Braves and the Mets. We just saw this series last weekend. It was the big series of the season that everyone was talking about. The Braves swept them, and they will be at home this time. The one thing about this setup is that we have to switch these teams around because the postseason format is a little weird. So the Braves will be on the bottom. They will be at the higher seed. They will be home for this series. And so they start out 2 games in Atlanta, 3 games in New York. And it's going to be a wild series. The Braves can throw everything at you, and they seem to hit DeGrom and Scherzer pretty well, especially in big moments. Playing in that Braves ballpark, Truist Park, it's something that is really hard for anybody, and I think they're going to play really well there. And if they get out to an early lead, I think they will take this series also. It's going to be weird going with the same matchup from last year, but I think we're going to do that. Astros and Braves in the World Series. That's what I think will ultimately happen. I'm going to go Braves in 5. And now we've made it to the World Series matchup, a rematch from last year in my eyes. I think these two are the best 2 teams in the sport right now. We have the Astros, who are very, very talented. We have the Braves, who are very, very talented. And both teams have an edge. So I'm picking the rematch. And one thing to note also is that a lot of teams, we haven't seen a World Series repeat champion in 22 years. So that's why I'm making the decision to go with the Houston Astros. A lot of people might not like that, but I'm picking the Houston Astros in 7 games. It's going to be a wild series. It's going to be a hard-fought series, just like last year was. It's the same thing over and over again. Both these teams are electric, but both teams are a little bit different this year. They have different players, but most of the same players. I'm picking the Astros. I think the veteran guys like Verlander and McCullers and Valdez, I think those guys will get the job done this time. I think they will be the 2022 champions. They won 105 games this year, and they seem to be the team that is the most complete package, the team that can put it all together, and the team that will win the trophy this season. So that is my prediction for this season. So there you have it, guys. My prediction for the 2022 MLB Postseason. Let me know who you think is going to win in the comments below. Who's your team? Who you picking to win? Even if it's not your team, like, I'm a Pirates fan, you know, we don't really go to the playoffs anymore, it seems like. So I'm just gonna glade it out there, see who's gonna win this time. It's always fun for me to watch because it's really good baseball, and that is something that you don't see very often until you get to the playoffs. I cannot wait to watch these games. Let me know who you got in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe if you're new here. Hit the notification bell so you can see every upload, and I will talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.